So much to be thankful for this Thanksgiving, everybody. How do you feel? I feel great. I mean, wow. We could have been in a very different place. So there's some folks I'd like to thank. I'm not going to be here for Thanksgiving. I'm going to be with my family, taking the day off and a few other days as well. So with Thanksgiving in the air, I want to thank a lot of people who help support this show and help support America. All right. Some of our favorites here on the Greg Kelly Show. Number one, no particular order, by the way, Scott Presler, the voting rights activist guru, whatever he does, it's amazing. He signs up people to vote conservative, and he is winning states other than President Trump. This guy individually might be the most responsible for what happened on Election Day. It's crazy, in Pennsylvania especially, and beyond. And all right, we won, and this guy went right back to work. You know about the issues in Bucks County? I don't fully comprehend them, but reportedly there was some weird stuff going on. And here is Scott Presler at the town hall saying, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be ready for next time.
I want you to know that I am going to spend all of my time in Bucks County for the next 3 years, making sure that we take back this county. Thank you to every single patriot that showed up today. We did it!
Talk about a mic drop. Scott Presler. Can't wait to see what's in store for him. All right. Hey, Bill Stevenson, another favorite of ours, right? Who is Bill Stevenson? Well, he's the ex-husband of Jill Biden. Yeah, the First Lady. He impresses me in so many different ways. He came forward in 2020 to say, hey, people should know that Joe and Jill did not meet the way Joe and Jill say they met. They had an affair. Now, those things happen in life, right? He doesn't hold anything against Jill, but he does hold something against Joe Biden. Joe Biden went after this guy. I totally believe that Joe Biden singled this guy out just the way Joe Biden singled out President Trump for prosecution.
The divorce was so bitter. Yes, they had an affair. Yes, they had an accident with the Corvette. A lot of people know that. But the 5 big stories are still to be told. That's what's amazing. We have kept this book so secret. I am so proud. And then after the congressional report released today, I mean, I'm only through 25 pages of it, but my God, it couldn't be a more perfect time to release the book.
Now, a couple of things. Bill Stevenson had been on this show maybe a dozen times before his book came out. It wasn't about the book. It was about the truth. And the truth is that Joe Biden, we believe, had this guy arrested for late payment of taxes. And how late was he? 8 days. He had a big business called the Stone Balloon, and the payroll taxes were due quarterly, right? January, February, March go by. They haul him into federal court on the 21st. On the 21st. He actually got arrested on the 8th, 8 days late. We believe fully that Joe Biden had a big role in that. If anybody has any questions, you can look up Bill Stevenson's book. You can get it on Facebook. Great guy. Also, Julie Kelly, the independent journalist. You know, she has been all over the lawfare against President Trump, covering it fully, expertly, and from a conservative perspective. I don't know if she actually would like that, a conservative perspective. I mean, she did it from a fairness perspective. And often she was the only one. She was the only one telling the truth about the biggest story in the country. She did an amazing job, and she would frequently update us here at Newsmax. And too often, yeah, she was the only one. Conservative media did not do enough coverage of the lawfare against President Trump, at least not enough firsthand in the courtroom coverage. Julie Kelly did, and we thank her for that. Aaron Babbitt. Aaron Babbitt in my book is MAGA royalty for a tragic reason. His wife, Ashley Babbitt, was shot and killed on January 6th by Lieutenant Michael Byrd. She was unarmed. She was not posing any kind of threat. Her shooting was completely unjustified. And Aaron Babbitt has been such a gentleman throughout all of this, and I think he's going to be somehow restored and rewarded for what happened. He certainly deserves it.
The term insurrectionist keeps getting thrown around, rioter, To me, she was just a blue-collar American veteran that wanted her voice to be heard, and nobody was listening.
Well, we're listening, and we'll never, ever, ever forget Aaron Babbitt. Thank you. We'll keep everybody informed about the progress that he's making against the federal government, and President Trump is involved now, and he certainly hasn't forgotten about Ashley Babbitt or Aaron. Rick Grinnell, big-time supporter of President Trump, foreign affairs expert. Here he is riding around in Marine One during the first term. We're not sure what is next for Rick Grinnell, but whatever it is, it's going to be awesome. And he probably single-handedly delivered Michigan.
I will tell you that out here in Detroit, as I talk to Arab and Arab groups and Muslim groups, they consistently talk about their children and how they want a world at peace. And so we've got to elect Donald Trump on Tuesday so that we can stop these wars.
Rick Grinnell, just an amazing man and a contributor here at Newsmax. We really like him. All right, this is an unusual thank you, but we're going to thank Tim Walz for being such a rotten candidate. It was fascinating to watch. It was fascinating. I enjoyed it. What was Kamala thinking when she picked this guy? Then again, what was Joe thinking when he picked Kamala or whoever told? Anyway, remember during the debate, we're not going to play any sound, but he was just totally freaked out by J.D. Vance. Couldn't believe what he was up against. Kind of like, uh-oh, why did I ever do this? I should have stayed in Minnesota. All right, with that, we got to give a genuine, sincere thanks to J.D. Vance, also known as the Vice President-elect of the United States. And yes, a guest on this show while he was running for vice president, and also when he was a candidate for the United States Senate. Yeah, he came on the show, and we really appreciate it. And I don't know. I think this guy is probably going to be president someday. But in the meantime, he's going to be vice president.
The moment, Greg, when I realized things had gone very well, is that when I saw my wife right after the debate, her face just lit up. She can't lie to me. It's one of her great character traits is that she just is impossibly truthful about everything. And, she definitely made it obvious to me when I saw her that she thought I had done well, and that's how I knew things had gone well.
Awesome. Thank you, J.D. Vance. Thank you to your wife. Chris Ruddy. He is the founder of Newsmax and the CEO of Newsmax. There would be no Newsmax without Chris Ruddy. And we are grateful for giving us Newsmax and his leadership. And we're going places. The sky's the limit. Chris Ruddy.
I like to say we're a 25-year-old overnight success story. And I think we've had a lot of success. We were in the digital media. People thought we weren't going to succeed. We just grew and grew and grew. We went into television in 2014, and people said, they're not going to let you on cable. You're never going to go anywhere. We're now the 4th highest rated cable news channel, as you know. We're just behind CNN in ratings. We're on every major cable system in the United States.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ruddy. And it's been a wild ride, and the journey continues. Of course, President Trump. Thank you to President Trump. How do we even begin to thank him? I don't know. I don't know. We can't thank him right here in this segment. But I can share with you the moment that I realized, wow, this guy is totally and completely different. I was already impressed with him, but in the 2016 debate, he talks about an issue. He's confronted with the issue of stop and frisk. And it's fascinating to me. I know that issue well. And he knew 10 times more, 1,000 times more than anybody in the fake news. Nobody really understood this, but everything that Donald Trump was saying was correct, and everything the moderator, the fact-checking moderator was saying was wrong.
I do want to follow up. Stop and frisk was ruled unconstitutional in New York because it largely singled out Black and Hispanic young men.
No, you're wrong. It went before a judge who was a very against police judge. It was taken away from her. And our new mayor, refused to go forward with the case. They would have won an appeal. If you look at it throughout the country, there are many places where
the argument is that it's a form of racial profiling.
No, the argument is that we have to take the guns away from these people that have them and that are bad people that shouldn't have them. These are felons. These are people that are bad people.
So there's the common sense stuff there, but there's also the nuance of the legal proceedings that virtually nobody understood outside the case, and he did. The media weren't reporting it. I was just blown away, and I've been blown away a lot since. It's amazing. And I guess, most of all, thank you to the audience, really, for tuning in to Newsmax, and especially this show. I know that you know we're doing something special here. I'm very, very proud of it, and I thank you for tuning in. And I'll be right back.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.